Welcome to another Tech Help video brought to you by AccessLearningZone.com. I'm your instructor, Richard Rost. Oh, we got a good one for you today, developers. Do you have certain functions or subroutines that you use in all your different databases, and every time you change one of them or make a modification or an enhancement, you got to go and then change it in 10 different database files? This happens to me all the time. Well, in today's video, I'm going to teach you how to create a shared library database where you can use the modules from it in any of your other Access databases. Today's question comes from Mason in Hoffman Estates, Illinois, one of my platinum members. Mason says, I've got a function that I use in all of my different databases that I wrote myself called FormatMyDate. Some of the reporting my company uses requires a specific date-time format, and that's what this function does. However, they change the format once in a while, and I have to go through and modify it in 15 different database files. Is there any way I can use this one shared function in all of my databases so I don't have to keep updating it everywhere? Yes, Mason, this is something that I go through too, because I've got several different databases that all do different things, but they all have kind of the same functions in them. I got my regular, computer learning zone database with my customer information. I've got a different database that I use for tracking my finances. You guys have seen it at the account balances database. I've got my loan amortization database that I use for tracking mortgages. I've got my stock database, all these different databases you've seen me build in some of my classes. Well, I use them myself too, and a lot of them have the same functions in them. And so when I change it in one spot, I've got to go change it everywhere. Well, that's where a shared database file comes in. Let me show you how to set it up. Before we get started today, this is a developer level video. What does that mean? Well, it means you need to know some VBA. And if you've never done any VBA programming before, go watch my intro to VBA video. It's about 20 minutes long. It teaches you everything you need to do to get started. Although today is more of an advanced developer. So this is for the people who've been developing for a while. So go watch intro to VBA, get learning, get started. But this one's for the more advanced developers. And make sure you know how to create custom functions. We're going to use that today. We're going to create a custom shared function that multiple database files can work with. So go watch this too. These are free videos. They're on my website. They're on my YouTube channel. Go watch them and come on back. All right, first I'm going to set up a folder to keep all my databases. And whenever I'm working with multiple databases at the same time, I want to put them all in the same database folder, the same shared folder. All right, so here in my database folder, I'm going to put a copy of my Tech Help free template. We'll copy that there. And I'm going to rename this to my front end. Or we'll call it front end 1. We can use it with front end 2 later if we want to. Now I'm also going to put in this folder a copy of a blank database. You can create a new blank database if you want from Access. Just go create a file, blank database, and save it. I happen to have one sticking around. I'm going to open that up just to show you what's in it. And look at that. It's blank. There's nothing in it. Okay, so let's close that guy. So I got my front end and I got my blank. Now in the front end, this is the Tech Help free template. You've seen this a million times if you've been watching my videos for any length of time. And in here, I've got a global module where I put in here some helper functions. Now this one only has this sleep sec in it. That's just a sleep a certain number of seconds. But in some of my other databases, I've got lots of different helper functions that do lots of different things. Let's create a new one. All right, let's create a public subroutine, and we're going to call it say hello. And all this guy is going to do is message box, hi, Rick, and that's it. Okay, save it. And then we'll come back out here. We'll go into my main menu, right click, build event, and instead of status hello world, we're going to say hello. Just like that, say hello. Save it, close it, open it. Bink. Hi, Rick. There we go. Now, I need to make another database. Let's say this is my customer database, blah, blah, blah. But I want to use a lot of the same things in here, like my main menu, my customer forms, all that. I'm going to make a different front end 2, let's call it. So I'm going to copy and paste. Okay, this will be front end 2. And this is a different database, but it's going to use a lot of the same functions that the original had. Now, right now, since I copied the whole database, that hi Rick is in here, okay? But what if I want to make changes? All right, so I go back to front end 1, and I go into my module here, and I say, I don't want it to be Rick, I want it to be Richard. All right, right, save that. Okay, close it up, and it's working great here. All right, now if I go back to front end 2, since I copied the original database, he's still stuck on Rick. All right, so now I got to go and change it here too, and change it in the other database. Change it in all 15 of my databases, let's say. So it'd be nice if I could have this function, or this subroutine that I just made. It works with subs or functions either way. And if I could put this in a different database file that all the rest of them refer to with a reference. Okay? We can. Let me show you how. All right, I'm going to cut this out of here. Snip. All right, close it. I believe we're in front end 2 right now. All right, let's go back to front end 1. And we're going to delete it out of here as well. All right, goodbye. Get rid of you. See ya. All right, close it, close it. Okay, now, let's go in that blank database. Now, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to rename this from blank. Let's call it our library database. All right, let's rename this guy. Library. Blank is kind of, no, it's not blank. All right, go into here. Let's rename the database project itself. So we'll go to options and then current database, and we'll call this our library. Okay, while we're in here, let's create a module, and I'll paste in my code, public sub, say hello. Okay, another thing you might want to do while you're in here also is notice over here, if you don't have the Project Explorer on, turn it on. View, Project Explorer, it's right there. All right, that way you can see this stuff. I usually don't use this because 90% of the time I'm working inside the same database. But if you're going to be working with multiple database files like this with references, you want to do this. See where this still says blank here? That's the name of the project. So we're going to also change that. Right-click, blank properties, and this will bring up the property window. We'll call it library here as well. Okay. All right, there's 3 places you want to change the name. The file name itself, the name of the database, which is inside here, and the name of the project. Just keep everybody unique, right? Okay. So let's save this. Let's close this. Okay. Now, let's go back to front end 1. Now, if I hit hello world now, I get a compile error because it has no idea what say hello is, right? That used to be in, let me stop this. That used to be in the global module in this database, but it's not anymore. Okay, so we're going to make a reference to our library database file so that this database, right, blank template, well, we can rename this too here if you want to. Right click, and we'll change blank template to front end 1. Okay, let's add a reference to that library database so that we can use its code. All right, so tools, references. That brings up this guy. Now, normally we come in here to use other third-party libraries or things like Microsoft Outlook code or whatever, but we're going to add our own reference to our own file in here. So click Browse. That brings up this guy. I want you to browse for a library file. Now, the default is type libraries, OLB, TLB, DLL. All right, these are pre-compiled library files, but we're going to drop this down and pick Microsoft Access Databases, ACCDB. Now, browse to where your library file is and hit open. Okay, you'll see down at the bottom, you can see library. All right, that's fine, leave it there. Hit OK. Oh, look at that. Libraries over here with your module 1. Open that up. There's your say hello. Okay, now my front end can use anything in that module 1. Watch this. Close it. Hit the button. Oh, look at that. Hi, Rick. It's getting the code out of the other database. All right, close this database. Let's go back to front end 2. Okay, hit hello world. Don't know what you're talking about. You know why? Because we haven't added the reference to this database. So you'll have to do this to each database that you want to add this code to. But once you've done it, that's it. You don't have to worry about it anymore. And if you change the backend, then you're good. If you change the library file, it's good everywhere. All right, tools, references, browse, access, library. There it is. Hit OK. All right. You could throw in a debug compile, make sure everybody's good. Close it. And then now library 2 is working. See? Now, if you change your library file, and by the way, if any of the databases that use that library file are open, notice there's a lock file for library. You will not be able to edit this shared database file if anybody's in that. Any of all those databases that use it. And if you're in a multi-user solution where you're sharing on a network, everybody's got to be out of the database before you can edit this library file. Okay? So it might be something you have to do after work. If you're doing development work, you may want to keep a local copy of your functions in your local developer database and then update the library file once you're sure it's, your changes are good. So that is an extra step, but it prevents you from having to update it in 15 different databases, right? Okay. But once I'm in here now, let's say you want to make a change. All right. Let's say everybody's out of the database. There's no lock file here. Open this guy up, the library file now. All right, we'll change our code here to Hi Richard instead of Rick. Save it. Close it. Close the library. And now when I open up my front end, click the button. Look at that. Now it's Hi Richard. And all of those databases that rely on that say hello function will now be updated. And you don't have to maintain a whole bunch of different code everywhere else. Now, one interesting thing I will point out is that when you have a linked function like that, let me get rid of say hello here. Okay, if I type in, if you have a variable like first name or a function name or something, if I type in first name equals Joe like that, see how it automatically cases like that, right? I talk about that in a lot of my videos, right? First name and last name, the F and the N get capitalized because Access recognizes it. Well, watch this. Say hello, press enter. Oh, it got it that time. It doesn't always get it. It's calling me a liar. But when I was running through a test earlier, it doesn't always get it. So don't panic. Sometimes in those external modules like that, it won't see it. Let's add another one. Let's add another function. Just don't want to be a liar here. I think because we already had it, it saw it. The IntelliSense found the capitalization for it. But let's go to our library database. Let's add a function. Let's say public function double it. Double it. All right, we're going to take in x as a long, and we're going to return a long. And we're going to say double it equals x times 2. That's all it does. It just doubles whatever number you send to it. All right, save it, close your library. Now, front end 1 and front end 2 both now have access to that double it function. And it's not even like double mint gum. It's just the double it function. All right, let's go into front end 2. All right, let's go design view, right click, build event. And let's get rid of say hello. I just want to type in double it and press enter. And see, it didn't do it. Okay, but I guarantee you it knows double it. Watch this. I'm going to say dim x as a long and y as a long. I'm going to say x equals 5. Y equals double it, open parentheses, and right there you get your IntelliSense. So it knows double it. It just won't automatically auto case it for some reason. I don't know. Access team, get on that one. All right, so y equals double it x, and then we're going to say status using my status function. X doubled is y. And look at that. See, it didn't auto case double it, but it knows it. Right? We got the IntelliSense. Save it, close it, open it, hit the button. 5 doubled is 10. There you go. There's your shared function. And now you can do whatever you want with it. You can change it and play with it and use it in all those different databases and only have to make changes in one spot. That's the benefit of a shared library file, whatever you want to call it. The one thing you do have to watch out for is if for some reason this library file gets moved, renamed, deleted, whatever, right? I just renamed it. If you open up your front end database, guess what's going to happen? Yep, there it is. See? Your database project contains a missing or broken reference to, and it's going to cause problems. Right? Can't find project or library. And if you've got an ACCDE file, it's going to cause issues too, because your users won't be able to see anything. But that's how it is with any. That's one of the reasons why I don't like third-party references to other programs that you can add to Access. If it's not standard part of Office, I don't like using it. So that's just something to keep in mind. Obviously, if you've got a shared server folder with all your databases in it, if this guy isn't there, the database ain't going to work. So just keep that in mind. Now, this works great and fine and dandy just the way I showed you with ACCDB files, regular database files. If you are in a multi-user situation and you're giving your end users ACCDE files, encrypted files, execute-only files, whatever the E stands for, well, you got to do some extra stuff. There's a few extra steps, some things you got to know. And I will cover that in the extended cut for the members. Silver members and up get access to all of my extended cut videos. Gold members can download these databases and get access to my code vault and lots more. Check it out. And if you like learning this stuff, I got tons and tons of developer lessons on my website. Come and check them out. There's the link right there. There's like 40 some levels as of right now, and I'm constantly adding new ones. So, yeah, come and check it out. But that is going to be your tech help video for today. I hope you learned something, my friends. Live long and prosper. I'll see you next time. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up and post any comments you may have below. I do try to read and answer all of them as soon as I can. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, which is completely free. Click the bell icon and select all to receive notifications when new videos are posted. Want to learn more? Click the Show More link below the video to find additional resources and links. YouTube does a pretty good job of hiding it. It's right down there. See this part of the description here, right? The name, the video's up here. There's a little Show More down there, right down the bottom. It's kind of hard to find. But once you click on that, you'll see a list of other videos, additional information related to the current topic, free lessons, and lots more. And YouTube no longer sends out email notifications when new videos are posted like they used to do. But if you'd like to get an email every time I post a new video, click on the link to join my mailing list. And you can pick how frequently to get emails from me, either as they happen, daily, weekly, or monthly. Now, if you'd like to become a paid member of my channel and receive all kinds of awesome perks, click on the Join button. You'll see a list of all the different membership levels that are available, each with its own special perks, including my extended cut videos, access to my code vault, lots of VBA source code in there, template downloads, and lots more. I'll talk more about these perks at the end of the video. Even if you don't want to commit to becoming a paid member and you'd like to help support my work, please feel free to click on the tip jar link. Your patronage is greatly appreciated and will help keep these free videos coming. I got some puppies to feed. But don't worry, no matter what, these free tech help videos are going to keep coming. As long as you keep watching them, I'll keep making more, and they'll always be free. Now, if you really want to learn Access and you haven't tried my free Access Level 1 course, check it out now. It covers all the basics of Microsoft Access, including building forms, queries, reports, and more. It's over 4 hours long. You can find it on my website or on my YouTube channel. I'll put a link down below you can click on. And did I mention it's completely free? The whole thing, free, 4 hours. Go watch it. And okay, a lot of you have told me that you don't have time to sit through a 4-hour course. So I do now have a quicker Microsoft Access for Beginners video that covers all the basics faster in about 30 minutes. And no, I didn't just put the video on fast forward. But I'll put a link to this down below as well. Now, if you like level 1, level 2 is just $1. That's it, $1. And that's another whole 90-minute course. Level 2 is also free for paid members of any level, including supporters. So if you're a member, go watch level 2. It's free. Okay, want to get your question answered in a video just like this one? Visit my tech help page and send me your question there. Members get priority, of course. While I do try to read and respond to all of the comments posted below in the comments section, I only have time to go through them briefly a couple of times a month, and sometimes I get thousands of them. So send me your question here on the tech help page, and you'll have a better chance of getting it answered. And while you're on my website, be sure to stop by my Access forum. We've got lots of lively conversations about Microsoft Access and other topics. I have a fantastic group of moderators who help me answer questions. Shout out to Alex, Kevin, Scott, Adam, John, Dan, Juan, and everybody else who helps out on the site. I appreciate everything you do. I couldn't do it without you. Be sure to follow my blog, find me on Twitter, and of course on YouTube. Yeah, I'm on Facebook too, but I don't like Facebook. Don't get me started. Now, let's talk more about those member perks if you do decide to join as a paid member. There are different levels: silver, gold, platinum, and diamond. Silver members and up get access to all of my extended cut tech help videos, one free beginner class every month, and some other perks. Gold members get all the previous perks, plus access to download the sample databases that I build in my tech help videos, plus access to my code vault where I keep tons of different functions that I use, the code that I build in most of the videos. You'll also get higher priority if you do submit any tech help questions. Now, answers are never guaranteed, but you do go higher in the list for me to read them. And if I like your question, you got a good chance of it being answered. You'll also get one free expert level class each month after you've finished the beginner series. Platinum members get all the previous perks plus even higher priority for tech help questions. You get access to all of my full beginner level courses for every subject. And I cover lots of different subjects like Word, Excel, VBA, ASP, lots of different stuff, not just Access. These are the full-length courses found on my website. You get all the beginner ones. In addition, once you finish the expert classes, you get one free developer class per month. So lots of training. And finally, you can also become a Diamond sponsor. You'll have your name or your company name listed on a sponsors page that will be shown on each video as long as you're a sponsor. You'll get a shout out in the video and a link to your website or product in the text below the video and on my website. So that's it. Once again, my name is Richard Rost. Thank you for watching this video brought to you by accesslearningzone.com. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you learned something today. Live long and prosper, my friends. I'll see you again soon.